What a guan, what a guan, what a guan. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. Today is going to be a big show, big show, big show. Question many people are always asking, what's better for weight loss, cardio or lifting weights? I know. Lots of people are always wanting to know that question, right? Lots of people always wanting to know that question. I mean, obviously, no, that'd be giving it away, right? That would be giving it away, and I can't do that just yet. Wouldn't really have much of a show now, would we? So who do we got in the chat so far? Hello, Yaya Suber. Welcome. Hello, D.I. Grifter. Happy hump day to you as well. Hello, Positive Therapist. Hello, Tamika. Hello, Igwe's daughter. All right. So you guys are all revved up and ready to go, huh? Nice. Yeah, it is an interesting question, right? It's interesting. But let's just get right into it with a funny way to discuss this, I figured. Funny way. Hello, Angelique. Hello.
Entirety of the program, you can see my average heart rate is exactly 96 beats per minute. In comparison, my warm-up cardio was 120. What does that tell me? Coach Greg, and what is more difficult? What burns more calories? Lifting weights or cardio? Well, I put the two to the test. That's right. I did a cardio session, had my heart rate monitor on, and then I did a weightlifting session with my heart rate monitor on. And so we're going to compare what is it like on your heart when you're doing cardio versus when you're lifting weights. Okay, so I started with a 20-minute easy warm-up. As you can see, my heart rate was approximately 110 beats per minute at the start of the warm-up, and it gradually rose, peaking in the upper 130s, but for the most part, throughout the warm-up, it was in the 120s, perhaps 125.
Should be noted, Coach Greg is an elite world-class athlete, so I think some people are going to get way above 130 from lifting weights. It all depends on what kind of weights you're lifting, right? Light weights, you're doing supersets, drop sets, doing leg day. Leg day is way different than arm day. You're not burning a hell of a lot of calories doing bicep curls compared to squats, lunges, or what have you, or back day, for example.
And you can see on average for the 20 minutes, 120 beats per minute. And so that is a typical easy warm up for me. I did 20 minutes, get my heart rate going, get a bit of a sweat, prevent injury to prepare me for the weights I'm about to lift. Girls Kitten, what are you? Oh, good job, Girls Kitten. Yeah, you chased him down. So funny. She's like, doing everything. Oh, it's like doing a video on a farm. So in this workout, I'm training at home and I'm doing back, chest, shoulders, and biceps. I wanted to do the legs, but they were way too sore from previously training legs and racing hard on the bike. They were just too friggin' sore, could not do them. And so looking at the chart, you can see several peaks and valleys. When it's peaking, that is when I'm doing a set. As I'm doing a set, my heart rate is rising to make up for the demands of the muscle. The muscle is working hard and it needs more oxygen, and therefore my heart is beating faster to carry more blood to the muscles. After I'm done the set, my heart rate can then relax and slow down. Doesn't need as much oxygen, and so it's recovering. Then I do another set, and you can see the heart rate yet again rises. Up and down, back and forth. You will notice my heart rate goes higher on some sets than on others. When you're doing a set of back, it's a lot more strenuous than doing a set of biceps or shoulders. And so you see the heart rate going a little bit higher on some, not as high on others. Also, on some sets, I was doing back-to-back sets or supersets. That allows the heart rate to go even harder because you're placing greater demand on the heart. On average,
for those of you who don't know, a superset is when you immediately finish one set and you do another, typically with another exercise. So for example, you may go from bicep curls like this to hammer curls like that, or say flat bench to maybe incline, or do push-ups right after. That's another popular thing. Or drop sets would be another example. Say you're benching 225, you finish a set, you drop it to 185, finish that set, drop it again to 135, because you're getting more tired set by set. And it's immediate. It's not, you're not giving yourself a rest.
Rest time was about 1 to 2 minutes between sets. Sometimes I rest a bit longer. I'm busy looking up YouTube videos or Instagram posts and so on, or going to the bathroom. And so you can see on most of my working sets, my heart rate would go somewhere around 100 to 120 beats per minute with a peak of 133. Overall, for the entirety of the program, you can see my average heart rate is exactly 96 beats per minute. In comparison, my warm-up cardio was 120. What does that tell me? It tells me that on average, I was working harder during my warm-up than during my weightlifting session. Notice at the end, there's a heart rate, it's close to 120 for an extended period of time. You may be asking yourself, what's going on? Was that a 5-minute set? That was me practicing posing. Even to this day, even though I don't have any competitions coming up, I still work on posing, bringing out detail in the muscles, seeing what it actually looks like. And as you can see, actually posing on average is more difficult than my workout itself. Based on the heart rate alone, you can see I'm actually training pretty hard when I'm doing posing. Just standing, flexing, posing, doing various poses, trying to see how does my muscles look right now.
Now, here's where, normally I agree with Coach Greg, right? But I'm going to have to disagree here. Because what he's essentially saying is that by posing, it's more effective than lifting weights at burning calories. Come on now, right? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That makes no sense, none whatsoever, right? This is where you have that old saying, there's lies, damn lies, and statistics. It's where numbers don't tell the full tale of the tape, right? You cannot do better by flexing than by actually lifting weights. That's an impossibility. That's just common sense. Can it do this? That's impossible. You can't do this.
I injured the left tricep. You can see my bicep is better on this side than on this side. And I haven't trained my tricep in a long time. I've only more recently been able to train triceps yet again. My maximum heart rate only 133 beats per minute. That is not very hard, although I was working to failure on these sets. Doing pull down, seated rows, side laterals, bicep curls. They were hard sets, but they don't involve your entire body. Had I been doing squats or perhaps deadlifts, I'm certain my heart rate would have been going higher. However, this was the exact heart rate that I'm showing you during my weightlifting session. A hard leg training session uses more muscles. Your legs are obviously bigger, but this is a typical workout that someone would do in the gym. I train harder than most people, and so you can see what my heart rate is. If I rested less between sets, you would see the heart rate peaks a lot closer together. However, if you're trying to maximize muscle growth, you should be resting at least 1 to 2 minutes between sets. And now let's compare what my heart rate looks like during a bike race doing cardio of just over an hour in length. As you can see, immediately my heart rate's 140. When you do a bike race...
Did you notice what he just said there? He said a bike race. Not going on his bike doing cardio, a bike race. Not riding fast, a race, as in he had to register. He's a competitor in a race. When you guys go to the gym to do cardio, you're not racing in the gym, right? You're jumping on your bicycle or the treadmill or the Stairmaster, but you're not competing against the other people to the left and right of you. And even if you are competing, it's not this kind of competition, right? You don't have a number. There's not first place, second place, or third place. There's no prize. There's no trophy, no monetary reward. You're not really going all out that whole cardio session, right? Even though you think you can. For those of you that have competed in races, marathon, half marathon, 5K, I'm not talking the ones that you just want to complete. I'm talking the one that you're competing in. Competition is dramatically different than you going out and jogging the 5K. Dramatically different. That's when your body is telling your brain, knock this bleep off, and you got to be like, no, we're going to keep doing this, right? So this is not an apples to apples comparison. He's comparing lifting weights at a high intensity to an actual race. It's not an apples to apples comparison at all.
Right off, the pace is intense, much harder than a warm-up. You'll see my heart rate go up and
immediately the pace is intense because it's a goddamn race. They don't start the race and ease into the race. They just go as hard as they can. Come on.
Down various times throughout the race. When you're bike racing, there are hills, and when there are hills, you have to work harder to get up.
Hills. Not the hills that you pretend to have on your Peloton or your spin bike where you artificially stand up. A real goddamn hill. You know how hard it is to pedal up a hill? Have you ever pedaled up a hill? Like a real hill? I've done it in a triathlon. Believe me, it was way harder than the fake hills on the bicycle, the stationary bicycle. Way harder.
The hill. When you're going downhill, it's easy, hence your heart rate slows down. Also, various times during the race,
you also have to be paying attention, right? You got to be controlling the damn bicycle. There are people going by you, you're going by other people. You don't want to crash into things, hit things. Even when it's easy, it's not easy.
Take off, try to sprint in front of you, and the pace is just faster and you have to work harder. So your heart beats.
You just said the pace gets faster when people pass you because it's a race. When you're lifting weights, you're not competing to finish the set. You're lifting at your own pace. You're on the bench. You have the machine. Other people's got to wait their turn.
Faster to keep up with the demands of the bike race. And as you can see, my heart rate peaked above 170, approaching 180 a few times during the race. The end of the race in particular, it was pretty much 170 beats per minute the entire time until it then rolls up again for the sprint at the finish. There is not one time during this bike race where my heart rate drops to as low as the maximum heart rate that I achieved during my weightlifting session.
I'm going to say it again. He's racing. At not any point in time during the race did his heart rate drop below the weight. Yes, because he's racing. When you're racing, there's no slowing down portion. There's no rest between sets. You're racing. It's not like you're playing soccer or basketball where you get subbed in and out on a bicycle race. You're racing. It's just like sprinting or running in a race.
So if you're asking me, which was harder, which do you think? It was a nightmare the entire bike race. Even the parts that were easy were still relatively hard.
I believe that. I believe it 100%. Whenever I've done triathlons, it was always hard. Always hard. But hey, the heart rate doesn't tell the full story, right? When you lift weights, it does have a knock-on effect. Always afterwards, you're still burning calories, right? You're also building muscle. Muscle is metabolic currency. The more muscle you have, the more you can boost your metabolism, right? Your basal metabolic rate. Which people look the best in the gym? Well, let's make it easy for you. Which people look better at the Olympics? The guys running marathons or riding the bicycles or the sprinters? Male, female, does not matter. Hurdles, 100, 200, whatever. The sprinter types. They always look better. Always. Who looks better? NFL cornerback or some guy running a marathon? Where are the best looking guys in the gym? The best looking ladies in the gym? Are the best looking ladies on the bicycle? Are they on the elliptical? Nope. No. They're over there doing those glute bridges. They're lunging, squatting, deadlifting, lifting heavy ass things. Same with the dudes. The hot male bodies are not on the elliptical. They're not on the spin bike. They're not in spin class unless it's after they did their lifting, right? All age groups, all races, does not matter. Anywhere in the world, this is true.
Way harder than a warm-up. However, remember, your heart rate does not give you an exact indication of how many calories you actually burn. Yes, there is a correlation, but
exactly, it does not.
But it's not exact. It's a guess. So if you're wearing a Fitbit or some form of a watch that measures your heart rate and tells you how many calories you're burning, it's guessing how many calories you're burning, and oftentimes it overestimates the calories burned. When riding on the bike, it tracks your wattage. The wattage predicts calories very accurately, and so for this bike race, I burn over 1,000 calories in an hour. In comparison,
1,000 calories an hour. He really did this. I believe this. That's a ton of calories. By the way, when you're talking about wattage, for you guys who don't know, that's when you have a device on your bicycle that measures this stuff. This is not amateur stuff, right? You are pretty hardcore to have that equipment on your racing bicycle. That's another thing. He's not riding a regular bicycle. The bicycles probably cost a couple $1,000s, right? It's a racing bike. It's not a normal bike. It's not a dirt bike, not one you cruise around the community in.
Comparison, probably burn a couple hundred calories while doing the weights.
Doesn't matter if you burn a couple hundred calories doing the weights because you're building the muscle, right? Muscle burns more calories while you're not doing anything. While you're not doing anything, man. This is not my opinion. This is science. There's many studies on this kind of stuff, right? In one study, weight training led to a 9% increase in resting metabolism. 9%. That's sitting on your ass, not doing anything. You're burning 9% more calories. Think about that, right? Not doing anything. Just imagine right now, if tomorrow you could be burning 9% more calories, not doing anything. Nothing extra. That adds up over time, right? And the main way to lose weight is still your diet, right? It's still your diet. It all comes on the calories in and calories out, right? He's arguing you burn 1,000 calories in a race. But when the hell are you going to be racing in the gym? You do it one day of the week? What about your other cardio sessions? You're not burning 1,000 calories in an hour. But you can consistently lift that weight week after week, month after month, and build more muscle. You can build more muscle, burn some fat. You'll gradually transform, right? And of course, it's not all about losing weight. It's about transforming yourself. Have you heard of skinny fat? Skinny fat. Skinny fat is not hot. Skinny fat is not hot. Male or female, skinny fat is not hot. Not hot at all, right?
During that bike race, my average heart rate approximately 160. That is intense. And if you examine my cool down, that's the part after the race is over. You slow down so you don't get too much lactic acid in the muscle. Helps you recover. You can see that my cool down on average was somewhere between around 120 and 130 beats a minute. That is in fact harder than my warm-up, and I'm cooling down, and that is much higher than my actual weightlifting session. So what is the lesson to be learned? Cardio is harder than weights. It works out your heart much more intensely. And if
I'm not sure I would say cardio is harder than weights. If you're doing a goddamn bike race, going up hills and stuff, hell yes it is. But I challenge somebody to jump on a bicycle or a treadmill and tell me that was harder than doing heavy ass squats or heavy ass deadlifts. I challenge anybody. There's a reason when people do heavy ass squats or deadlifts for low reps, they're taking up to 7-9 minutes rest between sets, just so they can do the next set of 2 to 4 reps. Think about that. These aren't fat people. These are very strong people. I interviewed one of them. Very strong, deadlifts like 600 pounds, Greek god type body, fantastic body, 6-pack abs. He's resting 7 minutes between sets. Not because he's lazy, obviously, because it took that much out of him, right? Not riding a bicycle. No. That's not happening.
you're trying to get the best of both worlds and you have limited time in the gym, here's something you can do. You could quite literally do your cardio as you rest between sets. You do as hard.
Now, this is an interesting concept. Now, if you're an advanced trainee or you're just trying to mix things up, I fully agree with this. But the typical person who's out of shape or just looks okay and is trying to look better than okay needs to focus on building that muscle. Between sets, as he himself has stated, you need to be resting 1 to 2 minutes. One of the common mistakes people do in the gym is they don't rest enough. They feel, I got to be active. I got to be doing something. I got to be sweating. Next time you go to the gym, again, look at the hot bodies. Are they dripping in sweat? Usually they're not. Not unless they're doing cardio. When they're lifting weights, they're usually not dripping in sweat. They rarely are not dripping in sweat. They lift weights, then they rest. They may walk around, talk, do what he was doing, checking his phone, whatever. Then they do the next set. You need to make your muscles recover between sets, unless, again, everything is with a caveat. You're doing things like supersets, whatever, or to failure. So this is a good change up. I agree with that. But for a regular person just doing this all the time, that's no bueno. You're not going to build muscle, or you're not going to build it as effectively. Remember, muscle will make that ass look extra fine if you're a woman. Make that chest look much better if you're a dude, right? Cardio ain't doing that. Think of the gym instructors you've seen in, say, a Zumba class or a spin class. And if you saw that guy or lady on the street and they told you they don't even work out, would you disbelieve them? You wouldn't. If Coach Greg told you didn't work out, would you believe him? You wouldn't. If I told you I didn't work out, would you believe me? You wouldn't. You know why? Because we have muscles. Lots of muscles. And we didn't build them doing cardio. It's the same for the hot chicks out there. Hot bodies are not built on cardio. That's a lie, unless you got fantastic genetics and you're young. But that's a caveat. But most of y'all are over 30 and over 40. So those days are long gone. Long gone. You can't do that stuff anymore.
Hard set of bicep curls, and then you get on the treadmill. Walk for 2 or 3 minutes, get off the treadmill, do your bicep curls again.
I do walk between sets to get my steps in, not gonna lie. And that is effective too, right? And again, as a mix up, yes. As a change up, yes. Do it for a week, couple of weeks, that's not gonna hurt. But this is when you're already doing well in your weightlifting program, right?
You could repeat this back and forth for perhaps an hour and get a great cardiovascular workout combined with a great weightlifting workout. And depending on your goals, you could do a circuit. You could do biceps for 30 seconds, followed by cardio for a minute, shoulders for 30 seconds, cardio for a minute, and go back and forth, alternating each body part. The choice is up to you, but the point is, do something. Whether it's cardio or weights or both, it's obviously better than sitting on your ass and doing nothing. Hope you learned something, ending it here.
Now that I agree with 100%. Again, most of the time I agree with Coach Greg, big fan, right? If you got to choose between cardio and lifting weights and sitting on your ass, obviously cardio or weights is better. The best, and Coach Greg has said this in other videos, and most people agree, the best thing is to do them both. Right? There's so many benefits to them both. And we're arguing for the case for weights versus cardio here, right? But cardio gives tons of other benefits, right? With heart health, blood pressure regulation, your brain, getting out there, getting a good sweat, help to cleanse your body, toxins, etc. So many other things, right? So many other things like that. So again, it's optimal to do them both. Right? Do them both. All right, so let's see what's going on here in the chat. I'm sure you guys are probably having a lot to say here is what I'm guessing. Let's see what's going on. Igwe's daughter with, damn, look at that back. Yes, Coach Greg has an impressive looking back. I agree 100%. Hey, Tony, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Yeah. D.I. Grifter says sprinters hands down. I agree. Sprinters hands down, right? Igwe's daughter says muscle is definitely the ideal composition for the body. It's so valuable. I agree 100%. 100% on that. It's all about the muscle. All about the muscle. All about the muscle. Let me drop the link to call into the show in case you guys want to chat. You got some questions. It's a lot easier to answer questions when you're just talking verbally versus the chat. So don't be shy. Don't be bashful. If you got any questions about weight loss, feel free to call. It's a good show for that. Hey, Seek Amethys, welcome back to the show. Peace to you as well. Seek is always coming in with the peace and relaxation. Always. Seek Amethys, look, I'm guilty. I need to sweat when working out. So if you're doing cardio, Seek Amethys, sweating is good. But if you're lifting weights, nope. You're doing it wrong, girl. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Next time you go to that gym, focus on where you see the hottest looking bodies, right? Just do this for like a week. I guarantee you. most of the ladies you see there, they're not drenched in sweat, excluding when they're doing cardio. That's what I'm talking about. Just when they're lifting weights, right? Most likely, if you're drenched in sweat, you're not giving yourself enough rest between sets. I know you feel like you need to be doing something. A lot of people feel like if they don't sweat, they didn't work out. But that's just not the way it goes when it comes to lifting weights. It just isn't. That's just not how it works. Okay. Uwezimana Angelique. Me too. If I don't sweat, I feel like it wasn't worth it. I know. You guys got to like resist the urge. I know it's so difficult. Believe me, I know. I used to think the same thing. But you know something? This IFBB pro told me something funny. He said, Kirk, if you're paying a trainer for cardio, you're wasting goddamn money. Let me say that again. This professional bodybuilder told me, who was also a trainer, Kirk, if you are paying somebody to do cardio or for you to do cardio, you are wasting your money. You can walk on that damn treadmill yourself. You can jog around your block by yourself. You don't need to be paying somebody for that. It's a waste of your money. It's a waste of your money. You know, you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be doing that. By the way, likes are free, guys. So hit the like button. Hit that like button. Likes are free. They don't cost you anything. They do not cost you anything. They're 100% free. I promise you. I promise you. So I've dropped the link. Oh, so here's a good thing. I was hoping somebody would say this. And Angelique, you did it. Angelique says, Seek, I do my cardio first and then wait so that I can get the sweat out of the way. So Angelique, I got good news for you. Good news for you. You're doing it incorrectly. That's the good news. This is undisputably good news. Because what this means is when you do it correctly, your gains are going to go up. Why do you think? Couple reasons why you should never do cardio first. Well, first of all, there's scientific evidence behind this. Up to 8 hours later, your weightlifting ability has been negatively impacted. And this is with trained athletes, right? Not even just talking regular John Doe, J&Q. Secondly, if you're tired from lifting weights, what can you still do? Your cardio. But any little energy you've burnt from cardio, that's less energy to lift weights. Just think about it. If you walk for 30 minutes, right? That's still energy, right? If you did your pre-workout meal, you're burning through some of that stuff, right? Took some pre-workout, perhaps. I'm not a big fan of pre-workout, by the way, not unless you make it yourself, but maybe I'll do a show on that separately. So it is not good to do cardio before weights. Not good. Not good at all. The science is crystal clear on this. Crystal clear on this. Crystal clear on this. Yeah, so definitely lift weights first and then do your cardio. As a matter of fact, your cardio may be more effective. It's just like going to the sauna, right? Study shows more effective to go to the sauna after your workout than before your workout. After workout, you're already warmed up, right? You go into that sauna when you're warmed up, you can stay there longer. If you just go into sauna, it does sap your energy. Just think of like going to the beach, right? And you're not doing anything, but you feel tired afterwards. You're out in the sun. It's draining your energy. You're hot, right? That's how that works. Here's a great example. Skincare do's and don'ts. Lost 50 pounds, right? Seeing more results lifting than solely doing cardio. Yes. This is facts. Spinning facts. You can Google it. Just Google cardio versus weights. You'll see far more articles and scientific studies showing weights are better. Showing weights are better. D.I. Grifter says, great life lesson not to pay for cardio. Didn't realize I was doing it wrong with the cardio before lifting too. Yes, a lot of people do not realize this. They think, I'm just going to sweat, get it out of the way, blah, 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 and then I'll go lift those weights. Nope. It's totally the other way around, right? And if you think about it, it does logically make sense. I mean, both ways, there's a logic to both ways. But if you think about it, you are burning energy. Where if you're dog tired, you can do cardio, right? You could, after this show, you can go do cardio at midnight. Can you really lift weights effectively at midnight? Nope. But you can go do some cardio. You can definitely do cardio, right? If your life depended on it, you could do cardio. If something was chasing you, your ass would run real fast, right? I don't know how much you could lift if your life depended on it at midnight, but you could run real fast, right? You would definitely run real fast. Oh, man. So let's see. What else we got going on here? Got any other interesting questions or comments? Positive Therapist says nothing beats putting in the work. I agree. I agree. Nothing beats that. So what else we got going on here? Igwe's daughter, my damn Fitbit had me believing I was burning 1,000 calories daily. The lies. Yes, the lies. Wasn't Fitbit sued some years back, either with the calorie burn or the steps? I mean, this is years ago. I'm sure they're more accurate now, but yeah. Yeah, back in the day, Fitbit was definitely, a lot of those devices were always overestimating. You know, you hold on to the handles and 30 minutes later, you've burnt 1,000 calories and craziness like that. Yeah, it's not really happening at all. Positive Therapist, I'm now singing Chris Bone, I Can Transform You. Yeah. Oh, man. That is too funny. Too funny. Positive Therapist says, that's the key. Do something. I agree. You got to do something, right? Just walking, even if it's just walking, nothing wrong with that. Your ancestors were pretty slim from just walking around, right? You see a lot of people in Europe, they walk around a lot, they're slim, not going to any gyms. Or cities where you're forced to walk around a lot, like say New York, for example. Let's see. Hey, D.I. Grifter with the super chat. Nice. I greatly appreciate all super chats. And of course, my horn would trip out at that point, right? Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As I always say, man, it's your hard-earned money, so I appreciate it. Definitely. So D.I. Grifter says, what percentage mix of weights to cardio would you recommend if you still wanted to build your endurance while gaining muscle? That's a very good question. Generally speaking, no more. So let's say if you still want to build endurance, are you talking like for like a race to do a marathon, half marathon, something like that? Because it's hard to have your cake and eat it too, right? Because I'm thinking you're saying to build your endurance, not maintain your endurance. So you're training, like say for a triathlon, for example, you would still lift more than you do cardio, right? I would say that for sure. You still want to lift more than cardio. There's no doubt about that. You can still easily build endurance with limited sessions during the week, right? For example, if you're jogging once a week, for argument's sake, you can incrementally increase the amount you jog each week, all right? But if you're just lifting, say, once a week, that's going to take forever to change. So you definitely want to lift, I would say, double. So say you're doing cardio 3 hours for the week, I would be lifting 6 hours for the week. That makes sense? Because it's a hell of a lot easier to improve your endurance and to build muscles. Just think about it. How many muscular people do you see walking around? Hell of a lot of people there can run a 5K. A hell of a lot of people. You have couch to 5K programs, right? Where literally they take somebody who does no exercise and they can run a 5K in like 3 months. You cannot transform somebody, make them muscular in 3 months, right? Well, not unless you're taking special pharmaceutical aids, let's say. And even then, probably got to be very young and are fantastic genetics, right? Very good question. Shout out again to that question. But realistically, it's hard to have your cake and eat it, right? Because your body is smart. If you start running, the science shows you'll gradually start to slim down. I've told this story before. The Navy SEAL, I had interviewed him. Every time he'd go in the field, he would shed a ton of muscle because his body's like, we don't need this crap. We don't need this stuff. We're going to get rid of it, right? So you're sending conflicting signals to your body. If you're out there logging tons of miles jogging while still trying to build muscle. As a matter of fact, jogging, and Coach Greg has said this in other videos, and most people agree, jogging is the worst form of cardio today if you're trying to build muscle. The worst by far. You notice in his cardio, he's talking about going on a bicycle. right? And when you see very muscular people, very fit people, that not necessarily usually running in the gym. When they're doing the cardio on the Stairmaster or an elliptical, well, not so much elliptical, or the treadmill, right? Jogging is just not good for that. Jogging is going to make you be more lean to go run, right? It makes sense. Very good question. Thanks. Wizimana Angelique with another super chat. Or no, the first super chat. Thank you so much. Would it just be better to have cardio day and weight day separate? If you have a hell of a lot of time, but even if you did, the answer would be no. No, the answer is still no, because even the pros are still going to be doing it on the same day. They'll just split it in the evening. So for example, if you wake up early enough, you can do cardio in the morning and then lift in the evening, or you can just do your cardio post lifting. All right. There are different ways to skin a cat. Or perhaps you're working from home, right? Especially during this whole pandemic time, a lot of people are working from home. That'd make doing cardio in the morning even easier. But I would not do them separately because it's just a timing thing. You have 7 days in the week, right? A typically good lifting schedule is going to have you lifting somewhere between 4 and 6 days of the week. So let's go to the smallest option. You're lifting 4 days. So that leaves you 3 days left. You want one rest day where you're not doing anything, right? Not just physically, you want your central nervous system to get a break. So that leaves you with 2 days. So if you lift 4, that leaves you 2 days for your cardio. But you lifted the 4 days and you did cardio the 4 days. Now that's 4 days. So that's 2 extra days a week, right? That's going to add up. All those calories, you remember when we gave the example, if I cloned you, right? And your clone version is lifting, for a set of guys, benching once a week. The clone guy is benching twice a week. It's 104 times his chest is getting hit during the year. The clone one is going to have a nicer chest at the end of the year. The lady who's doing legs once a week, compared to her clone who's doing legs 2 or 3 times a week, she's hitting the glute bridge one day. She's doing hamstrings on the day, quads, whatever. At the end of the year, that other female, she's going to have the more awesome lower body if we cloned her, right? It's the same logic. You're trying to be as efficient as possible with your time. Even if you are rich and you're just not working, it does not matter, right? Because a really optimal weightlifting program is going to have you working on 5 or 6 days of the week. So again, if you were just to do cardio day, now you're talking 1 day for the week of cardio or no days for the week of cardio, right? And so, yeah, either do it in the morning when you get up, or if you can't do that, just do it after you lift. The other thing too is most of you do way too much cardio. Guess in the chat, what's the maximum of cardio most experts, most top-notch trainers will recommend somebody do in a session? Take a guess. I'll give you a hint. It's less than you would think. Just put something in the chat. Take a guess as to how much, the maximum amount of cardio daily that most trainers would tell you to do. Take a guess. While you guys think about that, and pull up another super chat. The Positive Therapist, thanks so much. So far, you're the sponsor of the show. Thank you so much with this $50 super chat. I appreciate this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So DI Grifter says 5K to 10K half marathon. Okay. So that's what he's training for. Yeah, so like I'm saying there, still you want to be lifting more than doing cardio, for sure. Definitely want to be lifting more than doing cardio. Let's see. Aha, that was my question. The Positive Therapist says, how long should a woman do cardio? Time frame while in the gym after lifting weights. So let's see. Have I given you guys enough time to see if anybody got the right answer? Let's see. Has anybody put an answer in there? Seek Meath has got it right on her second try. I'm going to give it to you, Seek. I didn't say how many times you could try. Yeah, no more than 30 minutes. You need way less than you think, right? Even Coach Greg has said this before, right? Even though he's arguing, for cardio, right? Typically 20 to 30 minutes is more than enough. Even just 20 minutes is enough, right? I know it's counterintuitive, but you got to remember it's all about burning calories, right? But diet is one of the easiest, most effective ways. And you're doing a combination of cardio and diet. Let's say you're doing your 1 hour of cardio a day, right? You're working out for weeks or months. What are you going to do when the weight stops coming off? Increase it to 2 hours a day? Do you have that much free time? Nope. It's better to be doing 20 minutes for a while and then increase it to 30 to 40. But if you're already at an hour, where are you going to go? So you're going to lift for an hour and then do cardio for an hour? So that's 2 hours you're in the gym. Or lift an hour and a half if you're really doing some more serious stuff. Now you're in the gym for 2.5 hours? Do you really have that much free time? And even if you do you want to be spending 2.5 hours a day working out, 3 hours a day working out? I mean, maybe. But yeah, you don't need any more than 30 minutes. Because you can't outwork out a poor dad. Remember that. You cannot. As a matter of fact, there's a crazy video I got reminded of today where this guy did like some 10,000 calorie food eating challenge. But he tried to do the opposite, burn 10,000 a day. Super fit dude. He worked out all day. He got to 7,000 calories. Like he worked out all day. A professional, right? It is extremely difficult to burn enough calories just from working out, right? You need to make some adjustment on the diet side of things, right? It's a lot easier to burn 200 of working out, cut 200 in calories, right? Or 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. It's a lot easier to do this. Trying to burn 500 calories just working out, because remember, on average, you need to burn 500 calories a day times 7 days to get to 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat a week, right? On average. It's a hell of a lot easier if you do it with diet and working out. So Sika mean to shout out, you got it right on the second try. Let's see. What else we got going on here? So I already answered this indirectly. Male or female, this does not matter regarding the cardio. Studies are clear on this. After you lift weights, 20 minutes is more than good enough. Here's an advanced tip for you regarding going into the treadmill versus Stairmaster. You will burn even more on a Stairmaster in the same amount of time. Why is this? Science doesn't fully understand this, but part of the theory is that steps have only been around a couple thousand years. So from an evolutionary point of view, we have not fully adapted to steps. So for those of you who've ever gone on a Stairmaster, even on the lowest setting where you're barely moving, you'll eventually start to sweat, right? If you walk on the floor at that same speed, you will never sweat. You won't even make a drop of sweat. Even if you're walking outside and it's hot, you won't sweat at that rate. But if you're on a Stairmaster, yes, you'll sweat. And it's not like your legs are burning or anything. You're just slowly stepping up there, right? Very effective, very effective. Some people make mistake killing themselves on the Stairmaster. That's no bueno there, right? Angelique asks, is jogging outside versus on a treadmill really different in terms of what you're burning? People all the time say outside is better. Yeah, studies show if you do a certain kind of incline to the treadmill, it basically balances out. And I believe they've disproven that it's safer compared to modern treadmills anyway to running outside. But like I mentioned earlier, running, if you're trying to build muscle or maintain muscle, is the worst form of cardio. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the reality, right? That is just a reality. Tell me, when's the last time you saw somebody who looks fantastic in the gym? Or for every person you see that looks fantastic in the gym who runs, you'll find several who do not run. That is not an accident. Coach Greg does not run. You know, those guys who do men's physique do not run. The bikini competitors, none of them run. They don't run. I had a coach who was one of them. I know them. They do not run, right? They do not run. Hello, Needs Watchers. Salute to the chat. I'm late, but we in here. I agree. Welcome to the show, Needs Watches. My guy has a pretty good channel, by the way. Pretty good channel. It's very well put together. It's very professional. He makes watches exciting. I remember thinking, man, that guy has a channel about watches? But then I checked it and I was like, damn, it's actually pretty entertaining. Pretty entertaining. So Sika Methis says, I just tried walking outside the other day and I hated it. The pollution from the cars, almost getting hit by cars and slow people. Okay, I guess you're in a big city, Sika Methis. You know, you can get a treadmill though, right? And don't buy new gym equipment. You can go on like Offer or any of these other websites because gym equipment is like one of the best pieces of used anything to buy. You know why? Because most of it is pristine. Think of any time you've bought gym equipment. What does it eventually become? A storage space for you to hang clothes on, right? It's just decoration. It doesn't get used. Most treadmills, even if they're bought 5 years ago, or bicycles, they're like practically brand new. No mileage. The person who bought them used them for a couple of weeks, couple of months, on and off over the years. Brand spanking new. You don't need fancy features either. It just needs to move. It needs to have an incline, and that's it. Incline, that's it. No fancy features required. If you think about it, in most gyms, they have old-ass treadmills, right? And bikes. You don't need it new there. You get on there and you bust your ass there. So why do you need a new one at home? Let's see. Angelique says, I'm asking because this summer I'll jog in the morning and go to the gym in the afternoon. But that would mean I'm doing cardio first instead of weights. This is a very good point you raise, Angelique. You'll have enough hours that have been gone. You remember I was talking about it's generally 6 to 8 hours where the weightlifting was impacted. So if you're running in the morning and presumably you're running before work, or if you're not working, you're still in the morning. Was that 6 a.m., 7, 8 a.m., something like that? And if you're lifting in the evening, I'm presuming this is like 5 o'clock. But even if you run at 8 to 12 p.m., that's 4 hours, right? 2 p.m., 6 hours. 4 p.m., 8 hours. Boom, you're there. So if you run at 8 and you worked out at 4, you'd be good. You'd be good, right? So good question, though. Very good question. Very good question. 1 hour? Oh, this was before you guessed the 30 minutes. Aha. Positive therapist, you were so close at 20 minutes. Or did you say 120 minutes? Oh, if that's a 1, you were way off. I take that back. I take that back. You're not close. Angelique says, maybe I'm overthinking it, but if I can jog in the morning and do weights in the afternoon, why I can't do cardio in the gym first and then weights? Because you're not giving your body enough time to recover, right? There's legitimate studies on this. And doing my research for this show, it's fresh in my mind. I looked at it just this evening, right? But basically, if you do cardio up to 6 to 8 hours later, it was proven in trained subjects that their output, how much they can lift was reduced. The statistically significant amount, meaning it's going to negatively impact your weightlifting session. Whereas when you do cardio afterwards, you're not negatively impacting anything. You're going to walk on the treadmill just as fast, whether you did bench, curls, legs, it doesn't matter how much you lifted. You don't walk slower on the treadmill because you did leg day. No, the treadmill is a relief from leg day. You're going to put it to the same speed, the same incline, and you're going to do your little thing, right? Even jogging, you still could jog the same speed practically, right? So it's not that you're overthinking it. It's just a scientific thing, right? And even forget that. Just think about this. If you're doing jogging, like you talk about jogging, if you jog for 20, 30 minutes, there's no way you can lift the same way as if you didn't jog. Jogging takes a lot out of you. Even if you're jogging slowly, right? You're using up your legs. For sure, in leg day, you can't squat or leg press the same way. You can't go lunging the same way. Your quads are going to burn you way more than usual, right? Good point, though. Good question. I think it's a pretty good discussion. I think a lot of people, they overthink it, to use your own terminology, right? They overthink it. Hey, remember, guys, likes are free. So hit that like button. Hit that like button. Likes are free. It crossed my mind the other day, and a lot of people don't read the chat. So for those of you who don't read the chat, hit that like button. Me saying to hit the like button in the chat is not getting through to you guys. To be honest, I used to be like that before I got into YouTube. I never read the chat either. Never read the chat. So Positive Therapist says, great tip. You can't work out a bad diet. That is so true. So true. Positive Therapist says, one of my dearest friends is a runner. She runs 5 miles every other day. She's very slim. Question to you, Positive Therapist. Does she look hot? She runs 5 miles every other day. I'm guessing she's been doing it for years. Does she look hot? She's slim. Does she look like she works out for sure? Like if she told people, you know what, I don't work out at all, would people believe her? Would anybody believe her? If the answer is she doesn't look hot, or if she told people she didn't work out, people would believe her. That means running is not enough. Gotta lift those weights, girl. Gotta lift those weights. Gotta lift those weights. There's no getting around lifting weights, man. The positive therapist corrected me. She says, no, I said, oh, you meant I. That wasn't the one. My apologies. Sorry about that. Especially since you super chatted me such a nice amount of money. Oh, thanks, coach. This channel is awesome. Got those who are jumping on the lifestyle channel. Thank you. Nice. Now, I like those questions by Angelique, because you guys hopefully saw the flow of the conversation there, because I was jumping between different comments, obviously, as I go down the list, right? But basically, don't overthink this. It's kind of like sticking your finger in a socket, right? You know something bad will happen. You don't need to understand electricity. You don't need to understand any of these things, but you know not to do this. Trust me. But even if you don't trust me, if you Google this, you will see. You don't even have to read the articles, just Google. Just read the headlines. Hell, you don't read the headlines. Look at the search results. Always lift before cardio. Always. Lift before cardio. The only exception they've seen scientifically, if it's leg day, by walking, say walking on a treadmill before, it would pre-activate some of the muscles, the leg muscles, so you could potentially maybe, but even then, it was such a delicate balance because you had to do just enough. But if you went a little over, then it would impact the leg workout, right? Because squatting is hard as hell. For those of you who have ever squatted, heavy squatting, right? That takes the hell out of you, right? That's the one time when you're lifting weight, you definitely sweat, right? You'll break out into some kind of stress sweat or the sweat, right? If you squat heavy or deadlift hefty, your ass is gonna sweat. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Let's see. Oh, so positive therapist says she's smoking hot. Hey, there's always the exception to the rule. Always the exception to the rule. Positive therapist says she also lifts on the day that she doesn't lift. Or you mean the day she doesn't run, I'm guessing? Well, if she is lifting, then that's why she's smoking. That's not because of the running. Not because of the running. He says she runs every other day, right? So she's running, what, 3 or 4 times a week? That means she's lifting 3 or 4 times a week. I would bet money it's the lifting that makes her look smoking hot, as you put it. Those Instagram women, man, well, surgery and other things, but it's not cardio making them look that hot. I guarantee you that. It's definitely lifting weights. Heavy ass weights, usually. From doing skincare do's and don'ts, says, from doing strength training, I have my best list before doing cardio. There you go. Another good example of that. What I would suggest to Angelique and Seek is, especially on days that you would do legs, right? Just pay attention. Look at how much weights that you lift. You should notice a difference in the weights, right? Whatever numbers you are doing, instead of leg press machine, hell, even curls, anything you're doing, you should be able to slightly increase the weight. Or if you maintain the same amount of weight, it should feel easier if you don't do the cardio before. Because I'm assuming what you ladies are talking about is the kind of cardio where you're actually sweating, right? As in real cardio. This is what I'm assuming. This is what I'm assuming. You're doing real cardio here, right? Good question. So what's the point of cardio then? Well, cardio is very healthy, very heart healthy, helps with blood pressure, and it does burn calories, right? You remember the best thing, everybody agrees on this. Coach Greg did another video, actually had it. Didn't bother to play this. The best thing is to do both cardio and weightlifting. That's the best thing. Synergistic, right? They're very synergistic. You want the optimal thing is to do them both. The hottest bodies are doing them both. They're not doing just weights only, and they're not doing just cardio only, right? Back to the sprinters. The sprinters run and them lift weights, right? Them run and them lift weights. Them man and them gal, they lift some heavy ass weights, right? And them doing sprinting, explosive running, right? They're not jogging endless and endless miles. Not compared to the marathon people, the 5K people, the long distance people, the 10,000 meters and so forth. So that's the point of cardio, right? It's very heart healthy and it does burn calories, right? Which is good. Because again, if you're trying to get to some kind of deficit, right? Like you were said in previous shows, you're trying to get back to the old you. You're trying to get that 500 calorie deficit, right? So say you cut 300 calories or two and you burn 300 cardio and you burn a little bit more, as a little bit more as in a little bit more, not more than the cardio lifting weight. No, you're definitely over the 500 for the day between cardio, diet, and lifting weights. You have maybe 700 calories for that day, right? You do that 5-6 days a week. On the days you're not working out, again, you're minding your meals. So again, at the end of the week, you should be down a pound, right? If you're not, you need to hire me. And I'll get you down a pound every week, right? But in all seriousness, yeah, cardio is still pretty good. Don't get me wrong, all right? Very good question, Angelique. Thanks for that. So positive therapists clarify she lifts one day and runs the other days. She lifts one day only? Okay. Well, hey, there's exception to the rule. And was she, let me ask you this. Did she always look like this? As in, she was always fit, never got fat before, right? Did she do track in high school or something like that? Any kind of organized sport? Or maybe she just got great genetics. I'm curious to know more about her. In our high school, our dance team lifted weights with our football team. Hey, there you go. Yeah, every sport can benefit from lifting weights. Every single sport can benefit, right? Every single sport can benefit from lifting weights. Golfers lift weights. There is literally no sport. Hell, chess players work out. The top chess players have trainers. They work out. Have you seen Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion? Pretty fit dude, right? Pretty fit dude. As a matter of fact, let me show you him. Let me bring him up. Because he's a pretty fit dude, in all seriousness. That's not an accident. People think of chess players as nerdy, wimpy looking guys, right? But they are not. Very counterintuitive. And Magnus Carlsen lifts weights. Yes, he lifts weights. He does lift weights, right? It is somewhat counterintuitive, but there is no sport. There is no sport for which they do not lift weights. Those days are just long gone, right? It just doesn't work that way anymore. Does not work that way. So I'm going to share my screen. Here's Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion. I think he's like 30 or 32 now or something, right? So it doesn't look like your typical chess player, right? Not nerdy looking. Because he even done modeling too as well, I like to think, right? But a lot of chess players are like this. Notice this guy over here. This was the recent world chess champion, not a slim guy. The stereotypes doesn't hold up to the reality of it. They tend to be fit. They have trainers. They work out, right? Formula One, the car races, they work out as well. I mean, seriously work out. Seriously work out, right? They're light as hell. They're like damn jockeys, but they're fit as hell. They are fit as hell. So again, weightlifting is no joke. But Angelique, yeah, the big benefit to cardio is the heart health. You know, there's just no disputing that. It is great. Heart health is incredible, right? Heart health is no joke. No point to me in any way in looking good and being unhealthy, right? You want to look good and be healthy. It's not a mutual exclusive thing. You want the best of both worlds. Best of both worlds. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let me drop the link again in case any of you guys want to call in. Seekamethis says, I've been crying about getting a treadmill because I know I will slim back down if I run. It's true, you will slim down if you run. There's no disputing this. But what I'm saying is that if you lift weights and go on a treadmill to walk or a Stairmaster, you will slim down and look better. So there's no disputing this. If you run, you'll slim down. When I lost 65 pounds, it was mostly from triathlon. It was a hell of a lot of running, right? But I didn't look as good then as I did now. And that was 10 years ago, right? Now I do cardio and I lift weights. I look better now than 10 years ago, right? So it is better if you lift weights, seek, and do cardio, but not running. Not running. I'd recommend you do not run. Go on the Stairmaster, go on a treadmill, fast walk at a certain incline, whatever, but not just endless jogging. Negative. So let's see. Oh, we got a clarification. Man, positive therapist, you're like all over the place tonight, girl. No, she alternates with weights and running, does nothing on Sundays. Okay. So she runs one day, she lifts the next day. Okay, so I really believe the hot body is due to lifting weights. Correct me if I am wrong, or just call in. Maybe it's simpler. I feel like we're texting back and forth or something here. Yeah, super. I got to see this buff chess guy. Yeah, Magnus Carlsen. Considered the greatest chess player ever as well. Norwegian guy. But like I said, everybody lifts weights nowadays, man. Yep, Formula One drive was also workout big time. Have you seen their necks? Their necks are thicker than mine, and they got traps. They got traps like mine. They're slim, but believe me, they're buff as hell. Sika Meter says, and I don't want to pay for gym membership. Well, you can do a lot of bodyweight exercise. You can do push-ups. If you buy a pull-up bar, you can start. Although that's pretty hard when you first start. You can usually barely not do any or half a pull-up. But you can do push-ups and air squats. But you want some form of resistance training, even if it's body weight, right? Again, you're not going to cardio your way to a hot body. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Don't know what to tell you, man. It's just not. I tell you what you need to hear, see, not what you want to hear, right? I'm a cold dose of reality. I don't come with the BS and then mumbo jumbo nonsense here. I'm not going to tell you to buy a waist trainer or take some magical pills or this tummy slimming tea foolishness. I just keep it real. You should look at the interview I did with my first coach, the bikini model. It's one of the first videos I did. I think you'll find it very educational. When you hear what I'm saying from a female and you see the pictures of her fabulous looking body, it'll be very believable, so to speak. Hey, so we got a caller. Welcome to the show, Positive Therapist. How are you? I feel like we've been going back and forth over Messenger or something. I think you're muted. You got to unmute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having trouble with the internet. Did you ask me a question?
Oh, no, I was just saying, hey, welcome to the show. I felt like we've been texting back and forth or something.
Yes, and you're not understanding my text messages, apparently.
Yes, okay. Educate me.
No, I was saying that she runs every other day, and on the days that she doesn't run are the days that she lifts, and she doesn't do anything on the Sabbath because that's the day that she rests and does meal prep and goes to church.
Okay. So do you think she built her hot body from the running or the lifting? Or
definitely the lifting, but I think her running is what keeps her slim.
Okay, yeah, I can believe that. Yeah. She's doing cardio to burn a certain amount of calories to maintain. I believe that.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that. There's no doubt about that. That I 100% believe, right? That's why I do cardio, or one of the reasons I do cardio as well, just to maintain, so to speak. So that I believe. But yeah, in terms of building that hot body, as you call it, yeah, it's built lifting heavy things. Right?
I agree. And I think that most women, just the whole myth that we're going to bulk up if we lift weights. I think if that myth were dispelled, then more women would join the gym. And that's why I was typing in the chat that I think this is a great channel for people who are joining the bandwagon of changing their lifestyles, because you're giving very important information. And for people who don't know anything about working out, this is a place where you can come and learn what you should and what you should not do.
Oh, yeah, I agree. And thanks for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, there's so much misinformation out there, right? And you're right. There's still this stereotype with ladies that I lift heavy things. So what I usually said to female friends, or this woman, any woman I meet on this topic, is think of all the guys that you see in the gym trying desperately to get muscular, and they can't. They have way more testosterone than you. You have a fraction, not even a fraction. You have this amount, right? I don't care what you're doing in the gym. Just think of the elite Olympic athletes that you see. How many of them are muscular? Not a lot, right? Not a lot. Usually when you see a muscular, what you're worried about becoming, that lady's taking some kind of pharmaceutical aids to get this, right? It's just not natural. Ladies don't have natural levels of testosterone to get so bulky, which is what most women are fearing if they lift weights. As you heard skincare do's and don'ts saying it earlier, right? She got more transformation from lifting weights than from cardio. That again is extremely common, right? It's just this myth. They think, oh, I should lift 5-pound dumbbells. Again, real life example. When you're in the gym, find the hottest looking chick in there, right? She's usually not lifting 5-pound dumbbells. She's lifting some women would say guy weights. Oh, she's lifting like the men. But she doesn't look like a dude. She does not look like a dude, right? So, good point there. Good point. Okay, so we have somebody here saying drop the link. There's the link, Snuggle668. I've dropped the link again. There you go, Snuggles. What I should be doing is putting this thing in the YouTube chat. That's what I should be doing. Instead of just putting it here in the StreamYard chat. So let me do that. So what else are you thinking about? In the YouTube chat. Positive therapist.
I was thinking about the other people who also have trainers. Like I love Lewis Hamilton, and there's a Netflix series about Formula One, and it exposes what they do when they're not racing. And from what I can see, all of them have a trainer.
Oh yeah, big time. And these guys are just sitting in a car, right, driving around. But the car is tremendous G-forces. It's so hard to turn the steering, or more important, to press the damn brake pedals, right? You have to have some serious leg strength to press the brake pedal, to really push it down. It's pretty shocking. You're right. Those are world-class athletes. The Formula One drivers, world-class athletes. So I put the link in the YouTube chat and I pinned it. I guess I'll start doing this every show now. Paste it in the chat on the YouTube side, not StreamYard, which I'm normally looking at here. And I pinned it. So as soon as you come into the chat, it will permanently be at the top, right? Can't miss it. Can't miss it. I won't always have to be pasting it here in the chat as well. And it's highlighted. Apparently, when I do a post, it will highlight it. Learn something new again. As the lead attorney would say, struggle streaming. No, you raise a pretty good point, positive therapist. Pretty good point. So do you lift weights, or do you do cardio? Or what's your setup?
No, I've been lifting weights and I only do like roughly 20 minutes of cardio. Okay,
gotcha. So do you find, is that working for you, not working? What's your experience compared to, I don't know, say when you only did cardio or you only lifted weights? So what's your history?
It's completely different. Lifting weights, I see more of a dramatic change in my body, going back to the dancer's body that I once had from lifting weights. But when I was in high school, because I've been dancing since I was 2. And so dance is what I do. And in high school, our dance team would lift weights with our football players.
Okay.
And then I danced professionally when I got in college. And the college football players would actually come and take our ballet, not our jazz classes, but mainly our ballet classes. And then we would lift weights. Our dance company would lift weights with the football players.
Okay.
And so I see a huge difference in lifting weights opposed to just doing cardio. And you keep talking about Zumba. Yes, the dancer in me loves Zumba. But I will admit, I did not lose a pound in Zumba. But it was fun. And I was there for the camaraderie. So for the ladies who have that time to also add something, Zumba's fun, but you're not going to lose any pounds.
So glad I'm so glad this came up as well, just like Angelique's question, because man, that's probably the number one debate I've had with ladies over the years with this damn Zumba. Ladies defend the hell out of Zumba. Oh my God, Zumba is great. It's this. Oh, my Zumba instructor looks so hot. And I'm like, go ask your Zumba instructor if she was doing Zumba to look hot. Either I don't get a response or they come back and say, okay, you're right. She said she did blah, 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 blah outside of Zumba. I'm like, exactly. Zumba is cool. It's fun. You sweat. You get a group experience, but it's It doesn't do a goddamn thing for your body. It doesn't do anything for your body. I don't care how much calories you burn from Zumba. It doesn't do anything, right? It's just dancing at the end of the day, right? These classes extremely popular, but not terribly effective. This is how gyms make money. They make money off those classes, right? They can pack 30 people in a room. They don't make money off people like me. They make money off people that only go to Zumba class. Because think of it. You get the same amount of membership, but you can squeeze 30 people in that gym in that tiny space for 1 hour. Then there's a handful of people like me running around the gym, but there's only a handful of it. Where every hour there's another set of 30 coming in, another set of 30, and another set of 30. That's how gyms really make money, right? That's how they really make money. That's how gyms really make money.
I won't dispute that, but you just said the operative word, and that was the group setting for people who need that additional support. Joining the Zumba class is providing them the support that they need to start the weight loss journey, even though they're not losing any weight while doing the class, but being a part of the Zumba community, the people, because you see these same people all the time because the classes are Monday, Wednesday, 5 o'clock, Tuesday, Thursday, 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that some of the ladies are joining that so that they can be a part of something. And I have seen some ladies who no longer, like myself, we don't even go to the classes.
Okay.
Anymore.
Interesting. Yeah, the Zumba thing is fun, and there's nothing wrong in doing that. But yeah, if you're exclusive doing that, thinking that's your cardio for the week or your cardio for the day, that's not terribly effective. Not terribly effective at all. You just have to accept this is fun. You know, it's like I'm drinking red wine for health. No, just admit to yourself you're drinking red wine because you love it, right?
Right, you like the taste of it.
Yeah, the studies have been pretty clear. You'd have to drink several bottles to get any benefits from the resveratrol. As a matter of fact, some new science came out the other day that's making that even worse. But I didn't want to get into that. Right. But needless to say, just say you're drinking for fun. And then there's some health benefits in terms of the social aspect of it and everything like that. But saying, oh, I'm drinking this red light for the resveratrol, the studies, the amount of resveratrol you need, you'd have to drink several bottles a day. Right. So that's not happening. That's not happening. Oh, man.
But you raise another good point, Coach. I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
a lot of ladies, if we were to do a poll now, a lot of ladies don't believe that it's not beneficial to their bodies.
Yes.
They actually think because they're wearing their Fitbit or whatever tracking device and they're sweating. And we've been conditioned to believe that if we're sweating, we're losing weight. So like you said in the previous show, we don't know what we don't know.
Yes.
And so they're under the impression I'm sweating, I'm moving around, my heart rate is up, my heart is racing. So, right. So it's a cardio exercise and I'm losing weight.
Yep. I used to believe the same thing. I'm not going to lie. I used to believe the same thing, man. I mean, most of us believe that. And it makes sense. It's common sense. If you think, I'm running around sweating, I should be losing weight. Well, you know what? You sweat a lot and you don't lose much weight or don't lose any weight. It's scientifically proven not terribly effective. Sex. Sweat a lot in sex, you ain't losing a ton of weight, right? It's proven to not be terribly effective for weight loss. So there you go. But those damn Fitbits, right? I know the modern ones are way more accurate than the old ones. It reminds me of what Igwe's daughter said about the Fitbit telling her she was burning thousands of calories a day, right? That's not happening. That's not happening. So, man. All right. Well, thanks for calling up. Great discussion there. Great discussion. Is there anything else you want to touch on regarding weights versus cardio or anything else for that matter? You can ask me any questions you'd like.
I think for most women, just getting over the idea that they're not going to bulk up like a man, just once they get that vision out of their mind that they're going to look like a man, because I don't have any women in my circle who want to look like you.
Right.
So once we can remove that, then I think we would have more women who are more open to, because it's all about changing your perspective and changing the way that you look at things. And so if we could, and I mean, you're talking about it on your show, and there are women who are calling into the show, men are listening to the show. But I think that the more you continue to teach us and to stress that we're not going to look like you, we don't have that amount of testosterone in our bodies, but we would look the way we want to look if we go with weightlifting and then cardio, opposed to straight cardio, Zumba, running.
This is true. This is so true. It's very counterintuitive. So I mean, I understand why people think. I mean, I used to think that way too, right? I used to think that way as well. So it's difficult. I noticed when I moved down here to Florida, when I went to the gym, that's the first time I saw a ton of women lifting weights. It's the first time I've seen this. And when I go on business trips, typically still don't see girls not lifting much weights. They're still a rarity. And I know part of it, they can be intimidated. They go over there, think all these guys are looking at them. They feel awkward, not sure what to do. I mean, I was there, but I think guys have an advantage. And usually at some young age, teenage or whatever, some other guy carries you to the gym. So it's not as intimidating to you. Where most ladies aren't being carried to the gym by anybody. I mean, in the weightlifting section at any rate. So I can see why. And I mean, until somebody shows you, it's not like there's signs or instructions, right? Somebody has to show you what to do. Everybody initially doesn't know what the hell they're doing there, right? It just is what it is. But I've noticed down here in Florida, a lot of ladies in the weightlifting section. It's not an accident that there are a lot of hot bodies in Florida. For any of you people who've been to Miami or any of these other parts in South Florida, you know what I'm talking about. Tons of hot bodies down here. And those ladies are in there lifting weights. They're building booties that didn't exist before. I never believed this until a trainer at LA Fitness showed me before a picture, because she was telling me, oh, she built it in the gym. I was like, yeah, whatever. She showed me the photographs. I was like, wow, she's not lying. She built that in the gym. Couldn't believe it. Unbelievable. No BBL, no BBL or anything like that, right? But she went from like nothing to something, let's say. Yeah, it can be built in the gym. But yeah, you're not going to get big and muscular if you're a lady at all. You just don't have the hormones for it. It's as simple as that. Again, think of all the elite female athletes you know, whether it's track, basketball, whatever. They're almost never big and bulky. They're far more athletic than me, but they're still not big and bulky, right? You guys just don't have the testosterone for it. And the hottest female bodies lift weights, right? Serena Williams lifts weights. Beyonce lifts weights. All those hot-ass bodies that you ladies admire on Instagram are just famous ones. They lift weights. What's that? That's the name of this name who still looks great. Is it Regina King or Regina something?
No, that is Regina King.
Now, how old is she now? Is she in her 50s?
She is.
Yeah, and she still looks hot. She lifts weights. She lifts weights, right? Angela Bassett lifts, and I try to remember if it was Regina King's mother or no. It's that Olympic sprinter. Her parents are Jamaican, but she's run for the U.S. She did like the 400 or something. You know what I'm talking about?
That's Stacey Frazier, who graduated from UT, lives in Austin, Texas.
No, not Stacey Fraser. No, somebody else. She's won. Unless did this person win an Olympic medal? The lady I'm thinking about has won an Olympic medal, I think.
The one I'm thinking about had a show. She had a reality show.
He says his name's Stacey King, is what you called her?
Oh, I'm going to Google University right now to make sure that I have it correct.
Okay. But the person I'm talking about, her mother looks fantastic, basically. And she has a bunch of Instagram pictures, and you see her lifting weights. And she's got to be in her 60s or 70s or something like that. I mean, hell, just think of the lady I interviewed, right? Let me bring her up. Carolyn A. Brent, right? She looks fantastic. Don't know why I didn't even think of bringing her up. And she's 65 years old. 65 years old. Carolyn A. Brent. She lives here in Florida, and I interviewed her. Look at the images, because she looked better, and you can see it with the images, right? Where she literally looks better as she got older. Once she started lifting weights. This is probably the best example of everything I've said tonight. Show the ladies why lifting weights are so good. Because there's like a picture where it's like 3 pictures of her Hopefully I can find this. Like a before, well, no, not a before. It's just 3 different ages. Of course, Google is not cooperating and I cannot find this. Carolyn A. Brent. Let me put, it's right here, the 3rd picture, naturally. Of course, because it's kind of a famous picture. Let's see. I'm going to share the screen again. This is valuable even for you guys as well, right? It really shows if you're dedicated, and she had a professional coach. So can you guys see this picture? Is this my screen sharing?
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So here she is at 54 years old, right? There she's at 60 years old. And here she's at 62. Look at those legs. Look at those arms. She put a lot of 18-year-olds to shame, right? This is from lifting weights. She'll tell you in my interview, this is from no kind of cardio. She does not do cardio before she lifts weights. I can assure you of this. I've spoken to her. I have her cell phone number. She lifts weights. She lifts heavy ass weights. She's not playing around cardio before she lifts weights. She's lifting weights, right? Weights will give you this, right? Cardio helps to maintain or burn stuff off, but lifting weights is the primary thing. And just remember, you want to do them both. And I'm not saying lift weights and not do cardio, right? Optimally, you want to do them both, right? But yeah, she looks really, really good, right? And it's predominantly from lifting weights. That's the main thing, main thing. Yeah. She's a pretty good novel author as well. You guys can check out her books. Pretty good author. So let's see.
Okay, I stand corrected. Her name is Sonia Richards Ross.
That's it. Sonia Richards Ross. Yeah, her. Sonia Richards. Yes. Her mother looks fantastic. And her mother lifts weights, right? Her mother looks pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. I remember seeing some pictures of her last year, I think, on Instagram. Her mother is seriously looking good. And she's got to be in her 60s as well, I like to say. Right? Sonia Richards Ross. Mother?
Her mother's name is Sharon Richards. Her name is Sonia.
Yeah, just saw it pop up now. Let's do images. Am I still sharing? Is my screen still sharing or no? Nope, it's not sharing. Let's do this again. I should have just left it sharing. One of these days, I'm going to get good at this. I promise. So this is her. Let's see, what picture is this? I guess this is Sonia. Yeah, this must be the daughter, Sonia. Yeah, so this is the Olympian on the right, and this is her mom on the left. So you have to like pay attention to figure out which is which, just to show you. See, her mom looks pretty good, right? Her mom looks pretty good. How old is her mom? Sonia Richards' mother age. And I know she lifts weights. I was reading some of her Instagram stuff. Okay, this is going to take a while. She's not famous enough. Never mind. Not famous enough. So you guys saw the picture, right? So looking pretty good at that age. Looking pretty good at that age. Can I zoom in? Yeah, I don't have a Pinterest account. What can I tell you? So that's her on the left. Look at those abs. Looking pretty good for that age. Yep, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah, here's a good thing. The YMCA. Angelique points out she goes to the YMCA. They got great childcare and something called Kids Zone. Kids Zone is part of the membership and said no extra cost. You bring your kids there and then go to your workout. Yeah, that's a good point. For those of you ladies or men that have to carry kids to the gym, or you're being limited, you think that you can't get to the gym with your kid, the YMCA, I mean, most cities have a YMCA. And lots of gyms have that now, actually, that kind of stuff. I don't know if it's no extra cost like the YMCA. LA Fitness, 24 Fitness, these chains typically have something going on for kids, right? For sure. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yep. Here at Positive, this was your comment that it's pretty great when you can exercise and have childcare at the same time. Yep, I agree. I agree. So anything else you want to talk about Positive Therapist?
No, normally I'm a chatty Cathy, but that's it for today.
I just heard that phrase yesterday. I hadn't heard it in years up until yesterday. I was watching another stream. Somebody was calling two people chatty catties or something. I hadn't heard that in a long time. So that's 2 days in a row. Interesting. Well, thanks a lot for calling up. I appreciate the call up. See if anybody else is brave enough to call up. Have a wonderful night, Positive Therapist. And thanks again for that super chat. I really appreciate that. You've been a lot of support to the show. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Thank you. All right. Have a good night. So let's see. We got some new comments in here. D.I. Grifter. She's looking good for any age. Yep, that is true. She is. She is. And yes, here is my interview with Carolyn. That is right. Thank you, Igwizot, for bringing that up. It was a pretty good interview. It's like 1 hour, but yes, Carolyn gave great, fantastic advice for you ladies out there. Hell, I would say that you guys would get pretty good advice as well, right? Because she went into pretty good detail about the mental aspect as well. She went into what her nutrition, what she does, etc. And the editor that put it together did a fantastic job. I didn't do the editing. I don't really have much editing skills at all. So, yeah. Oh, Skincare Do's and Don'ts says she's in her 60s. I was right. And she's looking, as D.I. Griffith said, hot for any age. Damn right. That is true. Says Jada Pinkett. Oh, you mean Jada Pinkett Small or Janet? Is there a Janet Pinkett or did you mean Jada Pinkett? I don't follow the celebrity people, so I don't really know. I'm terrible with the celebrity thing. You're right. Regina King, I got her right. Looks amazing. There she go. Looks amazing. Yep, Sika means got to remember, lift first, then do cardio. Just think about it. You're trying to save your energy for the cardio. Think of it. I mean, sorry, for the lifting weights. Think of it that way. You can always do cardio if you're dead tired, right? You can do it late, tired, hungry, whatever. You're not going to do so well with the weights in those type of situations, right? No. How many bottles we talking for the red wine? I don't remember, but it's too much for you to consume without getting alcoholic poisoning, as I believe. Let me put it to you that way. Yeah. Let's see. Anybody else? Hopefully I've not missed anybody's comments or questions. And of course, if you want to call in, feel free to call in. I'm not sure who Snuggles was or is. They did ask to drop the link, but they seem to have disappeared. But I have dropped the link, and now I learned to put it in the YouTube comments and pin it at the beginning of the show. As a matter of fact, I guess I should pin it pre-show. That'd be even smarter, wouldn't it? Learning as I go. All right. So unless anybody wants to call in, we've been going like an hour and a half now. I think it's a pretty good show. I liked all the questions and comments. It seems like these kind of shows are very popular. I know I could do a pretty good one regarding the best ways to do cardio or typical mistakes, let's say, for weight loss. And the bulk of it is our own cardio type stuff. And some diety type stuff. So yeah, I could do a show on that for sure. Because it seems like these are the kind of things that people have a lot of questions in and they're most interested in. As a matter of fact, I can get 2 shows off the top of my head I could do. Yeah, so I'm gonna look about doing that tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Right. Yeah, yesterday, of course, the Will Smith thing messed up my schedule, let's say. Threw everything out of whack. There was a great disturbance in the force from one slap. Pow. All right. So thanks again for tuning in, guys. And thanks so much for those super chats. I really, really, really appreciate each and every one of them. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. So later's my massive, me a go along now. For those of you who don't speak Jamaican patois, that is goodbye. Bam. Peace out.